pan. When it's cooked, he puts it on a rock, and then he puts some black sauce on the plate. Soon, a very creative seafood feast was complete. The rich man couldn't wait to taste it, but just as he was about to eat, the chef interrupted him and told him that it would taste better if he dipped it in the sauce. The tycoon took a bite and was really attracted by the delicious flavor. The chef gave him a meaningful look. Paul is a very famous top chef. He specializes in cooking for celebrities from all walks of life. But the rich don't know anything about food. They only hired Paul to show off. And Paul realized that, when Paul was a child, his family was very poor. His mother was a servant in a nobleman's house. A bottle of caviar on the table intrigued him, so he secretly opened the fridge to try it. But the owner's son found out, and the caviar fell to the floor. But that little bowl of caviar made Mom work for months for nothing. While cleaning, Paolo knelt down and dipped her finger in the caviar on the floor. When he put it in his mouth, he was surprised to find that this expensive stuff is super bad. That's when it dawned on the poor eat to satisfy their hunger, and the rich eat to enjoy themselves. From then on, he aspired to become a chef. Now, in order to capture the stomachs of the rich, he decided to expand her team and recruit new staff. That day, a girl frying rice noodles on the street caught his attention. Soon the girl was brought to Paul's restaurant. Competing with the girl is a professional chef. However, Paul's question was a fried rice dish. The girl began to prepare it with great skill. The professional chef, on the other hand, seemed very calm. The ingredients used were of the highest quality. The presentation was exquisite, but the girl's was plain. Paul glanced at the chef's rice but turned his head and took a spoonful of the girl's. He picked it up and sniffed it before declaring the girl the winner. The chef was not convinced that the girl's humble dish of fried rice could not be better than his, and Paul slapped him in the face, because the winner was already decided when they chose the ingredients. The girl's fried rice was made with overnight rice. The chef used freshly cooked rice, and the key to egg fried rice is that it must be made with overnight rice to make it so delicious. Even though the girl is frying rice noodles on the street, he knows how to cook. Although the smell of fried rice noodles does not fit in with this fancy restaurant, but after a bath and a change of uniform, the girl finally became a chef in a fancy restaurant. But this is only the beginning of her dream. Next, she'll face a bigger challenge, because Lisa was about to cook for the most famous people in the world, and the theme of the party is blood and flesh. Her task was to make the A5 Wagyu tender and juicy, and it must be no thicker than a millimeter, and no more than 1 second of stir-frying. At first, Lisa didn't think it was that difficult, but after several unsuccessful attempts, Paul was not happy about it. It's hard to get the slices right. Paul asked her to cook the Wagyu in 1 second, but she either exceeded the time limit or the meat stuck to the pan. Paul was so angry that he dumped the meat into the rubbish bin, and he yelled at Lisa. Lisa, who had been scolded and cried, was about to leave with her bag, but when she got to the door, she regretted it. She went back to the kitchen and continued practicing. Even though her arms were burned in many places, she kept practicing again and again. When her colleagues have gone home from work, she wouldn't leave the kitchen until the next morning. Colleagues found her sleeping on the floor, but she opened the fire without saying a word. She puts in the meat and turns it over in a second. It was just the way Paul wanted it. Melt in your mouth. Before Lisa could rest, Paul took her to a celebrity party. At Paul's request, she started her own stir-frying technique. It was instantly recognized by all. An investor was also attracted to the event, and gave Lisa a business card. Lisa's self-confidence shot through the roof, but Paul was jealous. From then on, Paul deliberately gave Lisa the dirtiest and most tiring jobs, until one day, Paul took his team out into the field. She saw some hunters walking ahead of him. Lisa didn't know what to expect. With the sound of a gunshot, she realized that Paul was here to capture wildlife. In the face of Lisa's strenuous objections, Paul was unimpressed. Lisa didn't want to be part of Paul's gang. She left the scene on the spot. Soon the investor learned that Lisa had left the team, so he invested in a restaurant for Lisa, and gave her a team, and Lisa lived up to her name. She soon created a lot of dishes that were very tasty, but the investors weren't satisfied, because there's something of Paul in every dish she cooks. On hearing that, Lisa took out her frying pan again, and she used her stir-frying skills to her advantage. She created a lot of her own menus. This made the restaurant's business very hot. Many customers came to the restaurant. With the help of investors, Lisa quickly became a top chef. To expand Lisa's reach, the investor immediately secured her the opportunity to cook for top celebrities. The party was attended by the most powerful and famous people from all walks of life. But what Lisa didn't expect, Paul's team also attended the party. And then Paul wielded a big knife and chopped away at the ingredients. Then he grabbed a handful of cumin and sprinkled it over the cooked ingredients. Finally, engulfed in flames, an original roasted whole lamb, successfully arousing everyone's craving for food. Paul cuts off a piece of meat with a knife, and slowly puts it into the mouth of the celebrity. The guests of the party flocked to the table, watching them wolf down their food. It gave Paul's heart great satisfaction, but it also provoked Lisa's desire to win. She took out what looked like a simple ingredient. She carefully diced the meat, and added a spoonful of her secret seasoning. The aroma instantly attracted the guests. Looking at the simple stir-fried river noodle in the pan, the celebrity just tasted it and praised it highly. But Paul was not to be outdone. He took out his secret broth. He pours a bowl for everyone. The crowd is once again drawn to Paul. The celebrity takes a sip and is instantly surprised. Paul came to Lisa proudly, and told him that these young lady of note had already been captured by his food. But before Paul could continue, suddenly, The police arrested Paul. Soon all the celebrities received a message on their mobile phones. It turned out that the investor had bribed Paul's colleagues to post a video of him hunting protected animals on the internet. But Paul didn't show any remorse when he was exposed. Instead, he arrogantly said he would be fine. The celebrity asked the police to take Paul out. Then she came to Lisa. She said her food was the best. Before the party started, the celebrity asked to take a picture with Paul to show off, but Lisa wasn't happy about her victory. She went back to the ghetto where she lived. She saw poor people eating just to stay alive, and that made her feel very deeply. In the end, she chose to return to the river noodle shop. She decided to use her life's work to create her own menu, to make real food for the masses.